delicious nut butter brand called Pip Nut. I thought I'd start the topic. So the topic of tonight is, are we getting more well? Or that's what Adam challenged me to talk about. So I thought I'd start with how I came about starting up Pip Nut, what inspired me, because in so many ways it's connected to kind of my own beliefs around kind of health and wellness and what I personally believe makes a great kind of healthy food brand. So I click the right one.
Yeah, the arrow, the right one.
Oh, the right arrow. Cool. So our story. No. There we go. Back one. This is me running just before I ran the Paris Marathon back in, I think this was 2013. I'd had the idea of Pip Nut at this point, so around in my head I'd been kind of working up the idea behind how to kind of make a product that I loved, that I ate every single day, peanut butter, something that I felt was more healthy and nutritious. So about this time I personally was looking kind of for more natural products to kind of fuel my training, and always learned that peanut butter is a really good source of protein, it's really high in good fats. But the thing that I loved most about it is that it is just a fundamentally delicious product. And so many of our fans, I think, probably would agree, it's got this amazing addictive quality, which once you start, you end up eating it straight out the jar, and that was certainly what I still do right now. And for me, the thing that I found exciting about this product and why I actually started making it in my kitchen was that, you know, most of the brands that I was buying, this was about 6 years ago, most of them had palm oil in them, a lot of them had sugars, and when you looked at the whole fixture, if you stood there in front of like the spreads aisle, it was just a bit of a sea of beige. There wasn't really much going on in that category, and I felt personally that there wasn't really anything that spoke true to me, that appealed to me as a slightly younger shopper, but also someone that was more health conscious. And I think also the thing that's quite exciting, I think, about the space that we work in is that, you know, it's right at the back of the store. Like it's not a hugely sexy category. We're not in drinks or snack bars, which are kind of the more glamorous sections of the supermarkets. But we're in spreads, and actually I found it a really exciting category to approach because we're able to be really disruptive in that category and introduce new flavours, new formats, and really bring a brand that kind of resonates with people. But it started a bit slower than that, so it took a couple of years to set up the brand. At the time I was working at the Science Museum. I was a theatre producer, so no kind of commercial bones ran through my body at this point. And I started literally with a blender in my kitchen, bought loads of nuts, some tweaks with different flavours, and at this point when I started trialling at markets, so I started at Multi-Street Market, I had 6 flavours under our kind of range, which I think four are still in our kind of product portfolio at the moment. And yeah, I'd go out the weekends, every weekend, to try the flavours out on people and try and get some honest feedback. And I'd take that feedback and I'd tweak the products and I'd then go out again and sell. And I think it's a really great way to start. If you're going to start a food business, I think it's one of the few kind of businesses that you can really start on a kind of grassroots level like this and test and learn with your shoppers. So I took this concept and felt enough feedback from shoppers to be able to think, yeah, this is something I want to scale up. And so it took from this point another 1.5 years to kind of really scale the brand up, find a factory, get some funding, and essentially launch our product portfolio. So this is what we've got currently on our shelves. It's got a range of peanut butters and almond butters and lots of really delicious flavours. Coconut orange almond butter is our latest limited edition. It's really, really tasty. And our whole positioning is about playing upon the fact that health foods don't necessarily have to be boring, they can be really delicious. And actually we focus very much on flavour being at the forefront of everything that we do. And having the functional benefits of protein, fats, good fats, as a secondary benefit. So we kind of use our kind of really playful, creative brand to be able to bring the products to life and really disrupt that shelf, which 4 or 5 years ago was pretty boring. This is us on the shelves, and we've had an amazing journey so far. So currently we're in just over 21,000 stocking points around the UK. So in every supermarket now, Sainsbury's, Asda, Tesco, Morrison's, soon to win Waitrose, hopefully. And yeah, we're distributed across the kind of all the high-end delis and lovely, beautiful stores all around London as well. And this is our purpose. So as I said, we very much focus on bringing food to life for people, and for me, I'm a real believer in making sure that food has to be really delicious. So we help people love food that loves them, and by that I mean we want to focus on the fact that when people interact with our brand, they genuinely love our products, and we want them to really feel that passion for food. And for us, it's not good enough just to make them delicious. They do have to have a nutritional, healthy backdrop to kind of fall on, and that's where we help food that loves them. And we try and engage with our shoppers in all sorts of different ways. So a couple of years ago, we launched a cookbook. I painstakingly wrote 70 different recipes, all with nut butter. And actually, I edited it down quite a lot. There are lots more different ways, for everything from smoothie bowls right the way through to delicious brownies. And we've got an amazing audience as well. And I think one of the things that surprised me most when launching the brand was just how engaged our online audience is. Every day or every week, we get about 2,000 people tagging us in their different meals. And for me, it's just an amazing thing to see that kind of level of engagement, but also the amount of kind of fun that people are having with them. You know, people are choosing to put them in their smoothies right the way through to decorating their cereal with drizzles of nut butter, which sometimes I wonder how much time people have in the morning to do this sort of thing. And we've done all sorts of different events, so everything from, I'm not liking this clip there. Everything from massive events with Nike, where we served, I think this event we served about 3,000 different pancakes topped with nut butter and berries, right through to kind of ice cream topped sort of sundaes at Taste of London last summer. And we try and make food a real moment to remember, and when we are doing our big events, we want our food to look just as tasty and delicious as you'd make it at home. So I guess talking on the topic of health and the kind of the things that I think have really driven our brand. So apart from the fact that we've got products that people really love, but the kind of macro trends that are driving it. So health is massive. Obviously, it's a huge growing trend, and more and more people are each year saying that they're healthier than they were the previous year. So 34% of adults are saying that they're healthier than they were a year ago. But I do think health is not as straightforward as we perhaps think that is. For many people, health means going low in fat or sugar, or sometimes it means choosing something more natural. But what I found interesting is that I think more and more people are choosing things that are richer in nutrients, rather than necessarily reducing calories or reducing the amount of kind of making something lighter. And I think it's that sort of trend which is really driving the way that people are making choices around their food. So natural and added health benefits are some of the key drivers that we've seen. And when we talk to our shoppers, those are the things that they really care about. And I guess when you start to look at kind of more of the ways that people are choosing to be healthy, plant-based is massive. I mean, you only have to go on the tubes at the moment, you see these huge posters with promoting Veganuary, which I think 10 years ago, I would never have thought you'd see something like that, and it appears in Vogue, and the amount of people that are now choosing to be vegan is just astronomical. I think there are 3.5 million vegans in the UK, and it's growing by 360% year on year, which is kind of terrifying figures, but also not so much that people are also choosing to be more flexitarian, so choosing during the week to be meat-free, and at the weekends to indulge more. And I think these sorts of choices that people are making within their diet, they're kind of flexing the way they're doing things these days. But interesting when it comes to veganism and generally vegetarianism and being healthier, it's really being driven by that younger shopper. And actually, almost half of the vegans are aged between 15 and 34 that now are taking up that habit. And it's not so much around just being purely around intolerances as well when it comes to choosing, say, a plant-based diet as an example. People are actually choosing them for more of a health and lifestyle benefits, or it could be environmental impact, reducing their kind of CO2 emissions that you see with the drive of meat eating and things like that. Another big trend is personalisation, so not so healthy some of these brands, but it's been a big theme throughout food and drink over the past few years. You've seen Coke wrap all their labels, naming them, giving you a named bottle right the way through to kind of personalised milk trays. And I think within the kind of health sector, and we've certainly seen it and pulled up kind of more of our Instagram, is that I think more and more people are using food to really use it as an identifier for their kind of personality, and it's a real kind of thing that people want to talk about and tell their friends about and communicate through. And I think it's going even more further as well, as people start to control how they are their diet. And you know, some of these examples, Vitamojo, you can actually get your DNA tested so that then you can have more personalised food sent through to you in the post. And I think this personalisation trend, I think, will kind of continue as we start to track more and more of what we eat and get smarter in the way that we choose things. Food with benefits. The demand for protein is going crazy. We've certainly seen it as a massive benefit for us. And in the UK, so some of these facts I think are really interesting. So 1 in 5 UK consumers are actually actively increasing their protein intake, and they know that it's about sustaining themselves through the day. But the interesting thing about when it comes to things like functional things like protein is that taste has to be at the forefront, and it's often the #1 thing that people care about when they're looking at protein. And also when I think about protein, sometimes you might think that people that are bodybuilders that are in the gym like every day are the people that are eating and choosing to eat more protein, but actually more and more it's these kind of more lifestyle-based shoppers who are looking at things that are more about how you kind of feel full during the day, or choose a balanced diet, and less of the kind of bodybuilders. And I think again that's a transition that we'll see more and more of. And on the go, I mean, we're all busy. I think, you know, particularly in sort of cities, people are choosing snacks that are going to keep them fueled, and this is a bit of a busy slide, but essentially it's saying that people are choosing to eat healthier but more frequently throughout the day, and they're choosing on-the-go snacks. And I guess what I'm trying to say through all these sort of different kind of themes and trends that we've seen and that have helped our growth is that I don't think being healthy is necessarily as it's not as clear-cut as you might think. I think there's a lot of perceptions that people are pushing out there about themselves, about what they choose and what they deem to be healthy, and I do think it's an evolving thing that I think over the next 5 years is going to kind of continue to build more and more momentum. And it's an exciting space to be in as a food brand personally. Thanks very much.